So for Ancestor League, my league starter is what I'm calling Bone Shatter at Home, the Chieftain Heavy Strike Trauma build, and I'm casually playing this league, just finished my Void Stones on week 3. I chose to do this because I saw trauma support in the patch notes leading up to the league, and I knew I had to do it. So why not Bone Shatter? I wanted to see if I could scale Heavy Strike for fun and see if I could stun stuff. And oh boy, does it stun stuff. Ended up being pretty modest to gear, it's quite comfortable for brainless mapping, and I'm going to quickly go over a rapid overview of the build. So it's a Chieftain, it's got 90% all res because of the Ascendancy node Valico. I got a fair bit of Chaos res because I don't care about Chaos from my gear, about 5.2 thousand life, about 20k armor in maps with flasks up, that goes up to about 45,000. 6 endurance charges, 770 life regen, and 23 fortify on hit with the mastery. It's a pure physical build. It uses maces because I wanted to stun stuff, and these mace nodes are pretty good for that. I'm using Heavy Strike in my main link. It's divergent, so it doesn't knock back because that's extremely annoying. Melee physical damage for damage. Ruthless support, big chunky hits for stuns. Trauma support, which is the staple and the only reason this build does any damage. Awakened Brutality is not level 5 yet because I'm lazy. And Volatility. This, in conjunction with Rislatha's Coil, means that our minimum hit is about 27%, but in exchange, we get a maximum hit of about 233% more, which is pretty funny, ends up chunking the shit out of bosses sometimes, and means that I get pretty consistent stuns overall during maps, and map bosses more or less don't get to move. I have my totem set up, Ancestral Protector, War Chief, the usual stuff with MAME. I use Warlord's Mark because I want the extra stun duration, and this is how I get Rage. So rather than using Calm Spirit, I am stunning stuff to get Rage, and generally while mapping, though it's a bit clunky, I get about 50 Rage consistently, even on bosses. Helmet has double chance to deal double damage on Heavy Strike. Reserve efficiency, so I'm able to run my auras, which are Purity of Fire, Pride, Determination, and Vitality attached to Arrogance. I have cast 1 damage taken linked to Steel Skin, and I have it enlightened so that I'm able to run this alongside the other auras, since I'm running a 50, 50, and 35. So because of that, I also want to mitigate the trauma, so that's what the 6 endurance charges are for. Taking a quick look at the passive tree, pick up the 2 nodes for max endurance charges, picked up pretty much every mace node, stun node, life nodes, strike splash, monsters cannot block, reservation wheel, more physical damage, which also stacks with Rislatha's. And aside from that, it's a Resolute Technique build. So unlike Juggernaut, because I don't have Undeniable and I'm poor, I chose to use a Resolute Technique instead of Precise Technique. This does lose us a bit of damage, but I think if you really cared about doing damage, you would be playing Bone Shatter anyways. So where the physical as elemental comes from, for my defensive layer, comes from a Watcher's Eye, which is 10% of Fizz taken as fire while affected by Purity of Fire, and a Taste of Hate, which gives me 22%. You could get a 25%, you could run an extra roll on your helmet, and you could run Lightning Coil. If you really, really want to mitigate the physical damage, it would make you super chunky with 90 all res. And the reason that Chieftain is so cool this league is because I'm running a 2-hander, and I don't have the Phoenix Shield in my offhand, and I'm still res capped, which is super cool and something I don't think Jug has easy access to. So the way I get 90% res on all this is through Purity of Fire as a major source, +1 on the tree beside the Prismatic Skin node. The new tattoos that give +1 fire res if there are no adjacent skills allocated, so I put one here and here. I get one from Barbarism and my Greaves. I don't know if I'm missing anything else, but those should be the sources of my max res. And all in all, because I scale Purity of Fire and Aura effects, that gives me just enough to hit 90. And it has made this extremely comfortable general all-around mapper. All in all, it's been pretty fun, pretty comfortable, pretty brainless. Come home, stun some mobs, Shaper can't move, and I'd say if you're looking for a funny build that stuns stuff but isn't completely dead in the water, I don't know, give it a try. Maybe do it on Juggernaut, might be better. But it's been pretty comfortable, pretty cheap. I spent maybe 5 divines on this build, and I'm very happy with where it is, so I think I'm going to leave the build here. POB will be in the description if you are interested.